Today I want to show you 5 licks over the 2-5-1 progression. As you know, 2-5-1 is the most common chord progression in jazz harmony, and you can soloing over the chords using diminished scales, whole tone scales, alter-ready scales, chromatic lines, and much more. In each lick I will be using a different scale, a different approach. I will give you a small explanation. Also, you can find a backing track in the link below to practice the licks. I think we are ready, so let's start with the first lick, diminished scale. Now slower. On the first bar I play notes from the D Dorian scale. This is a D minor 7 arpeggio, 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th. Next note is a B, which is the major 6th, a 4th. This is an interval of thirds, and I repeat the same interval 1 tone lower. This is the last note over G minor. And let's move to G7. Now half-whole diminished scale. The sharp 9 of the scale is the 3rd minor of the chord. Also you have a 3rd major, and that gives you a nice bluesy sound. I strongly recommend you to memorize the shape of the scale, especially over G7, so you understand the relation between the scale and the chord. Now we are approaching the C major chord. We play a C scale, but also we can call this scale Ionian. It's a modal scale. And we're finishing on the 5th G. Let's play now a little bit slower. On the first bar over the D minor chord, I play an F major 7 arpeggio. D is the relative minor of F major. There is a strong relation between those two chords. So F major 7 arpeggio works well on D minor chord. Back to the Dorian scale, with exception of G sharp. I need this note to create a melodic line that is lending to G, which is the first note of the next chord, G7. Now we're using notes from the altered scale, also is called Super Locrian scale. This E flat is the 13th flat of the scale, which is also the sharp 5 of the G chord. So this scale really works well when you have an altered chord with a sharp 5. You won't be able to use the half-whole diminished scale over this chord. You need to use a 13 chord instead. After E flat, I want to go back to the C major scale. I want to play the closest note available, E. Rather than just play notes from the C major scale, I want to add a few more notes to create chromatic lines. So I'm adding E flat and A flat. Chromatic lines are great. You can create nice bebop phrases with them. Let me play slow for you. I started with a triplet. It's very common in the bebop language. Now we'll play 4 downstrokes, sweep picking. I'm landing on the 5th of the chord. I go up 1 tone, major 6th, and back. Now we're landing on G7. I will be using E flat Dorian scale. Shifting up the solo by half tone, but also shifting down half tone, is a quite popular way of playing outside. There is no theory that justify this kind of approach, I guess. But if you listen to E flat minor chord, in this case I'm playing a E flat minor 9, doesn't sound too different from the G7 alternating chord. They're sharing quite a few notes together. This one was the phrase over G7, and now we play over the C major 7 chord. I'm starting with a triplet. Actually, this is called bebop scale. It's a C major scale, so we play A and G, but also we add A flat. So sixth, flat sixth. Right, let's go to the next lick. And now at a slower pace. Sometimes a good way to start a solo is to slide into the note. Dorian again, Dorian scale. Except for G flat, I want to create a small chromatic line to land on F, which is the first note of the G7 chord. Now we can play a phrase using the whole tone scale. It's not that popular, but it's quite interesting. You can do intervals of fourths, like these ones. It is a symmetrical scale. And the big advantage is you can learn patterns, like this one for instance, and repeat them all over the fretboard, every 2 frets higher or every 2 frets lower. So over G7, I want to create a small pattern and repeat it. Whole tone scale from fret 10. I play a hammer-on to make it a little bit less repetitive. We're finishing with a long note, so we need a strong degree of the chord. This is the 3rd major of C. And then we're finishing with the C6-9 chord. Let me play slow for you. This is probably my favorite approach. I'm not really thinking about any modal scale or alternating scale. We are in the key of C major, so I'll be using a D Dorian scale, but I will be focusing more in creating a chromatic line. We started with intervals of thirds. I repeat the same pattern. And again, thirds. C, root, and major 7. This is a big interval. And then, even in the last phrase, there is a sharp note, D sharp. That creates a little bit of tension. And we have a nice chromatic ending. I hope you found the licks useful. My suggestion is to memorize the scales all over the fretboard and experiment them with new ideas, new licks. More licks you know, and more you're extending your music vocabulary. Please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. If you want more content like this one, just let me know in the comment below. I will make more. Thank you very much.